Hi guys, welcome to another SS Athletics spike review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Nike Zoom 400, and to conduct this review with me I have special guest SS Athletics athlete Dylan Vowles.
G'day guys.
So Dylan, would you like to give us an overview of the shoe?
Yeah, sure Scotty. So pretty much what we have is a specific 400 metre shoe, hence the name Zoom 400. So it has a synthetic upper, full spike plate, as you can see. So you don't have half or anything like that. So full length spike plate, which is great for sprint events. You have how many we got here? 2, 4, 6. You got a 7 spike plate as well in the forefoot. Similar sort of 3D printed design as the Superfly Elite, but probably one thing to note is a bit of a thicker midsole. So you've got a little bit more cushion through the entire shoe, but specifically in the heel as well.
A potentially very important feature to some athletes that these spikes do feature removable spikes. So if you blunt your spikes, you can take them out, you can replace them if you want to change the type of spike in the shoe. Very handy, unlike some of the Superfly Elites that have come out, having the non-removable spikes, which has been a bit of a problem for some athletes. You blunt them down, you can't replace them. So as we can see here, a shoe like this, can't take the spikes out. These ones have stayed pretty sharp, so if you do look after them, it's not an issue, but it is quite nice to be able to take your spikes out. And recently for a grass race, Dylan has taken out his spikes out of the shoe, so we could switch them to longer ones. So if you're looking to switch spikes, running on grass or anything like that regularly, you might really like this option to be able to take the spikes out. As the name suggests, this spike is recommended for use in the 400 metre event. We think that is probably the best event to use it in. However, an indoor 600 would be another good event to use it in, and potentially you can get away with using it for general sprints training, maybe down to a 200 metre. What's your opinion on that, Dylan?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Scott. Pretty much, yeah, 400, as you said, specific event for it. I feel like if you're quick enough, you could probably get an 800 out of it.
Yep.
So if you're running low 150s, and if your natural form is to run on your toes anyway, it's perfect because it's probably not quite as aggressive as, per se, maybe a Superfly Elite. But it's still enough, and it's a natural sort of ride, so it'll sort of roll you onto your forefoot, but at the same time it won't cause too much stress over those longer distances.
One of our athletes has tested them for the 400 hurdles and did comment that the cushioning throughout the shoe is quite nice over that sort of distance. So once again, personal preference on how much of an aggressive plate and shoe you're after, but quite a nice option to give that little bit of extra cushioning there. How have you found it for durability so far, Dylan? We've had these for a few months now.
Yeah, so I've had these all the way through winter training and then into the summer season. As we've gone along, I've probably steered more towards the 8s, so I haven't used them as much. I've used a different spike for the 8s. But durability wise, yeah, really good. Just, a slight little wearing on the back there on the heel, but I mean, that's expected when you're slowing down after races and that kind of thing. You don't spend majority of the time on your heel anyway in these shoes,
no.
So not a problem. Other than that, really no wear on the inside, nothing as such, no rips or anything like that. As long as your mates stay off them, yes, they should be sweet.
So yes, we can see this shoe here has a little bit of damage to the side, so obviously if anyone were to spike you, it is quite a thin material. You can get a quite easy bit of damage there, so if you look after them well, they should be reasonably solid, but a little softer than the material we've seen, say, on the Adidas spikes at the moment. But it does come with the matching lighter weight, so that could be worthwhile to you there. The overall comment I guess we would also make is this is the new Nike spike plate, a little bit different to some of the other spikes. So if you're a fan of the new Nike spike plate, definitely worth giving these a go. However, if you've been running a lot in the Adidas spikes, we'd probably recommend you stick with one spike plate or the other, as we said in the Prime Finesse review. If you're switching back and forward between this one for the 400 and then say maybe a Prime Accelerator for the 100, it might mess you around a little bit, so we'd recommend you stick with one.
I'd agree. The only probably negative that I have for the shoe, well, maybe just a heads up for people looking to buy it, if you've got sort of a wider foot, I found that I have had a little bit of issue with the side of my foot rubbing on the outside through there. Other than that, it's been pretty good. As I said, I'm more of a middle distance kind of runner, so getting used to them took a little bit, just being a little bit more aggressive on your toes. But once you get used to them, really, really comfortable, good around the bends, as you would expect for a 400 spike. But yeah, just something to keep in mind, if you do have a wider foot, probably not the best spike to go with, just because you may experience a bit of rubbing. I've I tend to just run in bare feet in these. Really comfortable. You've got enough padding through your heel counter and that kind of thing. So not uncomfortable to run in bare feet. And I haven't had any issues with them, just to give me a little bit more room when I'm wearing them. But yeah, other than that, as Scotty said, very, very, it's probably a good cheaper alternative for people looking to do sprints. I have done 100s and 200s in these, so can do that, but obviously they're going to excel over the 400 distance. Yeah, so just adding on to what Scott said about if anyone enjoys more like an Adidas spike plate, Scott likes to say that the Adidas spike plate's a bit flatter, which is 100% spot on. So with the Nike one, I don't know if we'll be able to get a photo come up or something like that, but you'll be able to see through the forefoot and then also across. It is a little bit rounder on the spike plate, so pretty much what that allows is a little bit more movement. So for instance, myself, I over supinate, so pretty much what that means is when I come down to strike, sort of my foot turns in like that, so the underneath my foot sort of turns in, and then I guess the Nike spike plate probably just gives you a little bit more room and allows you that little bit of flexibility. So if you aren't directly striking flat-footed, then that's probably going to be a bit better for you. Whereas, but if you've been using Adidas and you don't have any issues, or that's just how you foot strike, Adidas is not a problem. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. So if you do find you're over-pronating, over-supinating, definitely look towards the Nikes. Just with the rounder spike plate, you'll probably be slightly more comfortable in them.
Indeed. So generally, overall, we think it's a pretty solid shoe. If you're a fan of the Nike spikes, definitely worth giving a go. You might love this in your kit bag, particularly for some of your training workouts. If you're a sprinter and you're going out to say 3s, 4s, 5s, maybe even up to 6s in your training, you would probably enjoy this shoe. If you're an Adidas fan, you'll probably be more suited to say your finesse, but overall quite a good shoe, the first out of the 400 range for Nike, so interesting to see them bring this out, and quite a solid shoe. Now we've got a comparison for you of the Nike Zoom 400 to the Superfly Elite.
So I'm not sure quite exactly what the materials are between the two, but definitely when you feel sort of a Superfly compared to the Zoom 400, the material, the upper is a little bit thicker on the Superfly Elite compared to this one, so you're probably going to get a little bit more support through them. Lacing system very similar. You've also, both of them include toe cap, so pretty much it's just like another material over the toe, so just to reinforce that upper, and then so to ensure when you are up on your toes that your toes not going to go through the front of them. Flipping over down to the spike plate, one difference being 8 spike plate for the Superfly Elite compared to a 7 spike for the Zoom 400. Also, one thing to note, as Scott just mentioned, non-removable spikes, removable spikes, but also the actual 3D printed mold on the bottom, so the spike plate, is probably it's slightly more aggressive compared to the Zoom 400. It's a bit deeper in the grooves, and it is a little bit, the pattern is a little bit different. But still same sort of principle, but yeah, just definitely a little bit more aggressive, probably going to get a little bit better grip out of these. Again though, more suited to probably say 100 or 200 compared to a 400, and then even up in distance again. So, I mean, it's justified, but just something to keep in mind, depends on, personal preference and what you like the feel of.
Indeed. So thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this spike review, hope you found it a bit helpful. If there's any spike reviews you'd like to see in future, please get in touch, let us know what you'd like to see. We're hoping to bring you a few more reviews over the next few months, so tune in for those.